Okay, today we're going to learn how to shade and add value. So everybody is given a piece of paper that you will fold. We'll have several sections, which I'll explain. What you need today is, well, I have an ebony pencil. You need either an ebony pencil or a wooden pencil or a shading pencil, preferably a number 2B or a 4B. And you're gonna make sure it's nice and sharp. So let me get my sharpener. And I am going to start off, so I have all my boxes here. I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I know that there are 8 boxes, but I'm gonna count 6. You're gonna label this value scale. Now when we do a value scale, the first thing I like to practice is getting dark and light values by applying pressure. It's all about the pressure in the pencil. So if you want to get a dark value, you add more pressure. Now when you do this, your pencil should be sideways to the paper. If you go too fast, you're going to end up getting lines. So what you want to do is you want to go back and forth fast, but you want to slowly move across the page so that you cover all the areas of the paper and the white no longer shows. As you move across the page, I'm going to ask you to slowly release your pressure. When you do this, you'll see that you'll get a lighter tone until it gradually disappears. I like to call these tornadoes because they look sort of like tornadoes. So what you want to do is practice getting that even tone. You want to look at getting no lines, and we get that by holding the pencil sideways and really taking our time to cover the paper. If you find that you're getting lines, it means you're moving across too fast. Once you feel comfortable practicing a few of those tornadoes, I'm going to ask you to go to your value scale, and we're going to label it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll leave the last one blank, and I'll show you why. In our first box, you're going to apply the hardest pressure. So you're going to work to really, really press. And I'm looking for even tone. You don't have to fill the entire box. And you may take some time really trying to smooth that out. You're not going to lift up your pencil. You're going to gradually move slowly to the second box. And then in the second box, you're going to decrease your pressure a little bit more. As you go to the third box, you're going to decrease even more. Fourth box, decreasing even more. And in the fifth box, you're barely going to touch the paper. The fifth box is the hardest one because by barely touching the paper, you also have to ensure that it's smooth. The sixth box, you're going to leave completely white. When you finish, you're going to see a value scale that has even tone where each box is a separate value. When you've completed that, I want you to turn to a new page in your book. And then you're going to practice doing some spheres. So you can make a circle. We're going to make a light source. Make that up to your left. When the light shines down, the lightest part you're going to find is closest to that light source to the top left. You're going to create your cast and your contact. So this is your contact shadow, and this is your cast shadow. The cast shadow is the larger of the two. I always like to start with my contact shadow. It's the darkest. And whenever you do shading on the surface there, you want to go back and forth, not up and down. It tends to look like water if you do it up and down. You want to go back and forth. And then as you move to the cast shadow away from the sphere, you're going to decrease your pressure. You don't want that edge to look so clean. You want it to slowly sort of fade so that it looks like a natural shadow. Once you have your shadow, now you can go across. Now here's the tricky part about a sphere. You don't want to do it flat. If you were to make a sphere and shade it like this, it looks flat. It doesn't look three-dimensional. You have lines, it's all the same tone, and there's no curvature in the shading. Now the tricky part about shading in a three-dimensional object is that you have to shade in the direction of the objects. So now I'm changing and varying my pressure. I'm trying to get it smooth, and I like to just shift my paper. As I get closer to that light source, I'm going to decrease my pressure the same way I did in my value scale. As you move towards the top, you're barely touching the paper. And here we have a round, three-dimensional sphere. So practice tornadoes is step one. You may have to do it a few times to really kind of get comfortable holding your pencil. Once you've completed that, you're going to work on your value scale. Again, values 1 through 6. 6 stays blank. That's your highlight. When you're done with that, you're going to complete a sphere with a cast and a contact shadow, also leaving that highlight completely blank. Good luck, guys. Have fun.